Okay, here we go with how to make shredded hash browns. First, you've got to get your ingredients together and tools. What you will need: a grater, one potato peeled, a bit of onion. We're going to chop that up. A bowl, pepper, salt. I like to use some red chili powder, some olive oil, some butter, and a clean kitchen towel. Oh, and a skillet. Okay, we're going to start by grating our potato into our bowl. Just stick the grater over the bowl, have at it. Try not to grate your fingers off. It's never fun to have blood in the potatoes. Never try and get the last little bit. That's when you get your knuckles. Clean off your grater down into your bowl. And there we have it. Now the trick. We're going to put a little bit of water into our bowl. Here you see the bowl. We've got our shredded potatoes in there with water, and you're just going to stir it around. You're going to have to do the wash and rinse a couple times. The key is to get the starch off the potatoes. It helps to drain them off. You just put your grater over the bowl, dump her in the sink. Wash, rinse, and repeat. Now, I'm not a scientist or anything, but the reason I think that washing them is a big secret in the success of this batch of hash browns. I think I've tried to cook them before where you just shred the potatoes and try and fry them, and what you end up with is, because of all the starch in the potatoes, you get a real gummy, nasty mess. But you do a couple rinses in the bowl there, rinse them off with water and get all that starch out, and they cook up nice and fluffy, and they're just a lot better without all that starch mixed in. That's the reason I do that wash. I think that's kind of the secret to them. Okay, now once you've got your potatoes cleaned off, you'll be able to tell when the water isn't so white and what's the word, starchy. Dump your potatoes down onto your kitchen towel. Move the bowl out of the way. And now is a good time to get your pan started heating. On my stove, it goes up to basically 10, and I set it to about 4. Get a little bit of olive oil into the pan. To help with coloring the potatoes up when we're cooking them, take a little bit of butter. Throw that in the pan. And let that start heating. Now once you've got your potatoes on your kitchen towel, gather it all up with them in the center. Move yourself over to the sink and just squeeze the heck out of them. You want to get all that water out. Now you got some nice dried shredded potatoes. And we'll get a plate and dump them out onto the plate. Here we go. You can fluff them up a little. We got our nice shredded potatoes. Now we'll season those up and stir the pan around a little with our olive oil. Throw a little salt on the potatoes. A little bit of pepper. A little bit of red chili powder. Whoa. Okay, now for the secret ingredient, which I forgot to mention before. A little bit of grated or shredded, I use shredded, Parmesan cheese. Sprinkle that down on the potatoes. What this does, it helps bind them all together when they start cooking. Sprinkle that down on there. And then do yourself a little mix job here right on the plate. There, they're all nice and mixed up. Now we're ready to go into the pan as soon as it heats up. So while we're waiting for the pan to heat up, we'll do a little chop on the onions. You can do that to taste. I keep mine a sort of a coarse chop, but if you like them diced up real good, you can do that. What we're going to do, I like mine Waffle House style, smothered and covered. So we're going to throw the hash browns into the pan. Then we're going to dump our onions in right on top of them. And then we're going to cover the pan and let that cook. Get the first side done. Alrighty, here we go into the pan with the hash browns. Make sure your olive oil is nice and even all over the bottom. Get them in there, spread them out nice. Take our onions, throw them right on top. Spread the onions around a little bit. And throw a cover on it. And that way the steam will help cook the potatoes all the way through. Now on my stove, to get the first side done, takes about 3 to 4 minutes. You can check it by opening up the lid. Just get you a little spatula and kind of have a look at the edges, and you'll see if they've started to brown up. Okay, mine weren't quite done, so I let them go another minute or so. And then you want to kind of sort of bunch them all together, like into one part of the pan. This is a small amount, just one potato's worth. So you can most likely flip it by hand. You want to shake it to make sure it's loose, and then flip it. Now you don't really need to cover the other side to let that cook. Now, one trick for flipping them, if you have a bigger batch or if you're not comfortable flipping them in the pan, you can take your plate here and then get you some cooking spray. And what you do is you spray the plate with the cooking spray. Then you take the plate, hold it right over the pan like that. Hold it on there good and tight. You might use a kitchen towel so you don't burn yourself. And then you just flip the whole contraption over. And you'll have your hash browns sitting on your plate with the nice golden brown side face up. And then with the cooking spray on there, it makes it slick. and you can just kind of shuffle them right back down into the pan to cook the other side. All right, these look done, and the total cooking time was about 10 minutes or so. So give them a shake to make sure they're loose on the pan, and then just kind of slide them out onto your plate. And there you have it. Nice, beautiful, golden, crusty hash browns. Now, if you like, you can melt a little cheese on top of there, grate some down, and throw it in the oven to set on warm to keep warm while you cook the rest of your breakfast. Or just eat them as is. They're also good with a little bit of A1 sauce, very slight amount shaken out on there. That's it for your hash browns. I'm going to go eat them now.